Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to 90 at 9, brought to you in association with the BNZ. This is your morning briefing where you get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, starting now with news that US stocks are down 1% in late trade. In fact, they're down 4% since the New Zealand markets closed on Friday. That's because there was very weak jobs figures, US jobs figures on Friday night, which pushed the Dow down more than 3%. There are real fears now about a double-dip recession in the world's biggest economy, fueled in part by a slowdown in Europe. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs, its shares fell sharply too after it received a subpoena request from the US Congress after apparently not cooperating with earlier requests for information. Also, the Chinese are criticising Goldman Sachs, and many fear Goldman Sachs could miss out on a rich stream of revenues from the Chinese government selling its banks. And the New Zealand dollar fell to 65.8 US cents this morning. It tends to rise and fall in tune with the US stock market, and it's down again as some of these fears about the global financial market start to bubble up again. Back home, Allied Nationwide Finance was downgraded late on Friday night to a B rating by Standard & Poor's. It now has a negative outlook because of concerns about its liquidity. And finally, the G20, the world's biggest economies, have agreed not to impose a bank tax, a global bank tax. Those against the move included Canada, Japan, Australia and Brazil. They're essentially saying that their banks shouldn't be punished for the failings of those European and US banks that got into so much trouble. The agreement was that people would go it alone, and the UK has already announced plans for its own bank tax. I'm Bernard Hickey. That was 90 at 9, brought to you in association with the BNZ.